Good afternoon. A federal court has ruled it's unconstitutional to ban women from showing their breasts in public. So what does that mean for laws around New Mexico? Here's News 13's Courtney Allen.
Jess, this ruling struck down a law in Colorado. Now local attorneys say it puts a target on public indecency laws here in New Mexico.
Women in Fort Collins, Colorado can now go topless.
They're just expressing themselves and probably cooling themselves off.
This comes after two women and the backers of a national campaign sued the city in 2016 on the basis of free speech and the Equal Protection Clause.
It's so unfair that men could walk around with their shirt off, but women can't.
The case made it all the way to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver, which ruled in favor of the women in February. Fort Collins formally removed the law from its city code last week.
It could have an effect on ordinances in Albuquerque that have similar language.
The Fort Collins ordinance said women could not show their breasts in public. Albuquerque's public indecency ordinance bans the same thing.
People could look at a similar Albuquerque ordinance and say, oh, the 10th Circuit just struck something similar to this down, so our Albuquerque ordinance would also not stand up.
Local attorney Eva Blazejewski says the court ruling sets a precedent.
It's very persuasive that this is the way the courts are leaning, and this is the way that the courts of New Mexico should rule.
Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and Rio Rancho all have bans, something people are split on.
It was done from the beginning of time. When you look at Adam and Eve.
Of course I'm against it. I don't want to see it.
But I don't believe it would be appropriate for children to be seeing that.
Albuquerque did amend its ordinance a few years ago to make an exception for breastfeeding in public. The city attorney's office says they will review the impact of the ruling on the law here. Jess, back to you.
All right, thank you, Courtney. New Mexico state law says that indecent exposure consists of exposing primary genitals. There is no mention of breasts.